Hello everybody, and welcome back to the Empire Let's Plays series. I got a bunch of things done between episodes, and so I want to catch you up on that real quick. If you joined me on the previous live stream, you saw that we went around and we dotted a bunch of little wildflowers all over the place between Mingus and Coltrane up on the hill. And then the other thing we did is we built some new buildings. Actually right here. So when we walk up here, we've got the old mine. We've got our pumpkin farm. And then here you can see instead of fences, we have a couple of new buildings. And I've gone ahead and put some workstations and some beds in there. And so hopefully we'll get a couple of new farmers moving in. The other thing we did on the live stream is we got a bunch of new horses. As we ride around here, you'll see the wildflowers like I was talking about. Also got some of the leaf litter on the ground, so it's looking a little more alive and lived in. We did that all the way through here. Looks really great. And then you'll see as we approach the stable, we've got a bunch of new horses. Some of the horses are brand new, ones that we've never seen before. So for example, you can see we've got a solid gray horse and a white horse. If you join me on the live stream next weekend, we'll go through and we'll test some of these horses and figure out which ones are the fastest. Another thing I did is I brought an anvil over because we're going to need an anvil if we're going to name all of these horses. Okay, do we have room here? We definitely do. Plop that down right there. And then we've got about 6 name tags right now, and we can trade to get more of those. Today, I want to accomplish a few things. One of them is I want to get a bunch of blackstone. We're going to use blackstone over in our Mesa village, and so in the Nether, we can get a lot of that. The other thing I want to do is I want to get some cats tamed over in the Mesa so that we don't have mobs sneaking up on us. And then the last thing I think I want to do is make a banner for the one village that we forgot. We made these banners for each of the villages to kind of give them their own identity and make them look different from each other. And there's one village we completely forgot, and that's Marsalis, the village down in the swamp. One of the first villages we built, and the village where we get all of our mending books. Just sort of spaced them. So I think I want to make a banner for Marsalis, and maybe we'll have time today to run it down there. Let's go ahead and tie up our horse and then head into the Nether. And we built a road that takes us over to a Bastion Remnant. And that Bastion Remnant is going to be our source. Yikes. And that Bastion Remnant is going to be our source for Blackstone. There it is. So over here, I went ahead and tapped into the side of the remnant here, and you can see we're just kind of up towards the top. I also went down towards the bottom, and I started just filling in a little bit of a netherrack here. Seems like this lava down here is all about 2 blocks deep, so this should be pretty easy to repurpose if we want to make a froglight farm. But today, I think we want to focus primarily on blackstone. So we are off to a pretty good start. I got a fair amount of stuff from the ceiling and knocking out some of the structures on this top level here. One thing that was interesting as I was going through is there are still some piglins in here. I was going through and mining some stuff, and yeah, they were not happy to see me at all. And I don't know if they're sneaking in through the ceiling or if they're just spawning again, but we will definitely need to be mindful of that as we're going through here. We've got a fair amount of stuff in my inventory and in the ender chest, so let's go ahead and take this back to the mesa, and we'll talk a little bit about our plans for that village. Let's go ahead and tie up our horse and take the boat back over to the mesa. Once we get the roads built and the bridges and all that, this will be kind of an interesting little boat ride because we will go underneath some of those bridges as we zigzag along this river. All right. Here we are back at the mesa. Let's set up shop here and I'll explain our plan for this village. First thing we're going to do is we're going to dig out a T-shaped intersection. So we will come in from the desert into the side of the hill, and then the road will go in this direction, and we'll go in this direction. And I think we're going to have 7 little villager houses in each direction, and then right back here is where our place will be. So that's going to be the layout for our village. Next step, we need to hollow out each of these buildings. Okay, so now we have a bunch of little rooms of varying sizes here, and obviously we'll have a door, we'll do some furnishing inside. I think the next thing I want to do is change up some of these colors to make it look a little bit more patchworky. All right, we now have this really colorful hallway, and we've got doors, we've got beds. The floors are all a little different, which I think looks kind of cool. And now we just need a few more beds for down here and some workstations. And then this will be pretty much a functional village. Still needs a bit of decoration and that sort of thing, but we'll get to that eventually. My pick is in dire need of repair, so I think we're not going to do any more mining or anything right now. Right here with the iron door, this is going to be our spot. So we'll just go ahead and put a bed down here, set our spawn. Yeah, out here, still have done pretty much nothing. We need to kind of take this entryway and make it a little more grand, and then build something of a blackstone castle around this village. Before we tackle that project, I think I want to get more blackstone, and I definitely want to heal up my pick. So today, what I want to do to finish up our episode is a little bit of exploration. I think we got a cartography table. We definitely did. And I grabbed our map, some blank maps, and a little bit of paper. So I want to see if we can kind of fill out this area and maybe do a little bit of exploration up the river between the canyons over here. So first, let's take a look at our map here. So yeah, you can see that we've pretty much just exposed right here where the village is, and haven't gone much further in that direction. Let's go ahead and grab our boat and head up this river over here. I just happened to notice that when we were heading over here, this little canyon right here is really kind of picturesque, kind of cool looking. So let's head up in that direction and fill out that part of the map. All right, we just went off the side of the map here. Go ahead and expose another map. Cool. And then we'll take our new map and shrink it down one. There we go. All right, we've gone off the side of the map again. Put this one aside, grab one more map. Nice. Shrink this one down. Very cool. Right here, there's a whole bunch of exposed mine shafts. Really kind of cool looking. If there's any treasure just kind of hanging out here. Oh, what the heck? A witch. There we go. That's what I like. Easy treasure. Efficiency 4, I'll take that. Enchanted golden apple, I'll take that as well. Oh, here's another one. Name tag, nice. Now we're out in the jungle. We've gone off the side of the map again. Wonder if this is our jungle or a different jungle. Let's expose one more map here. Nice. Shrink it down. Cool. It's interesting, I almost went entirely off the side of this map. I didn't realize how far down in the corner we were going to be. So I've got 4 maps in my inventory now. Let's see if we can fill them all out completely. So this one here, looks like we need to go north. There's a boat crash over here. Isn't that interesting? Looks like we got some turtles. Hello, baby turtle. Yeah, I got another village over here. Huh. Weird tower out in the middle of nowhere next to a giant pool of lava. Cats. Lots of cats. This is pretty cool looking over here. A couple of interesting horses. Got some warm cows. And it is weird how many cats there are around here. Another weird thing is the buried treasure seems to be in this little green patch up here. Like it's not even that close to the beach. Very peculiar. Got a diamond or two. We got a heart of the sea. Water breathing potion. And some other goodies. Well, that's pretty interesting. Let's see what we got going on over here. Okay, that is one map completely filled out. And I think we've got this one pretty well filled out as well. Okay, this one we've got pretty much the top half filled out, but we're missing a fair amount of stuff in this direction here. So let's park for a moment and do a little exploration on foot. Who's this guy? At the top of that peak, I could just barely see the Mesa village off in the distance. And then if I look this way, we can just barely make out that desert village that we discovered. So they're not actually all that far away from each other. Okay, this map is filled out. Let's get back to the boat. Okay, here we've got the bottom corner of the map, but we don't have this direction filled out. So let's go do a little poking around up here. Uh-oh. Spawner. Okay, there is that village again. Off in the distance. Wow. Just desert as far as you can see. Look at all that red sand. There seems to be a ruined portal off in the distance. Very cool. Well, that map is all filled out. Let's go ahead and head back down to the boat. Okay, this map, we are looking good in this direction. Just a bit more to fill out over here. So let's park again, do a little running around. Wow. Wow, that's pretty cool. There's a cat. And a pig. Another cat. What if these came from our village? Alright, that map is all full. And that brings us back to the village. Let's go ahead and park our cat friend right in the entryway here to keep all the creepers out. So I think the last thing we're going to do over here is we're going to make some fences real quick. We're going to put a temporary gate across here. And then I want to see if we can lure some of our villagers in here to keep them safe. And the best way to do that is with a workstation. Okay, we've got all the villagers except for the 2 that are locked up in these houses and the nitwit. I was able to put down the cartography table and get these guys to follow me over, but the nitwit doesn't want a job, so hopefully the nitwit gets sad and wants to join the other villagers and just sort of heads down here. I think the last thing I want to do today is run over to the storage facility, get rid of some of the goodies that we collected, and then drop off our new maps at the map library. All right. Drop off horse. And let's put some stuff away. Okay, that's all settled. Let's go over to the map library and put these maps away. So here's our road into the desert, and I believe this one goes here. Yep, and right there is our Mesa village. So we went up this river here, and I think it goes, yep, like that. Comes around a bend up here, and then off into this ocean up here. That looks very cool. I think this canyon is a really neat kind of scenic area. Lots of weird chasms and ravines kind of running through it. And then somewhere up here is where we saw that other desert village. So in comparison to this, yeah, it's about as... Actually, it's even closer than this is to Blakey. It's just right up there. Got a couple of missing maps here between our bridge and this jungle up here. I suspect it is the jungle that we see when we are crossing this bridge. So we'll have to go ahead and fill these out at some point. I think between episodes, I'm going to heal up my pick and my other tools so they are ready to go. And next episode, we're going to grab more Blackstone, and then we're going to finish the Mesa Village. And that's where I'm going to wrap this one up. If you want to be like these folks and help support the channel, click join below or scan the code on the screen. And thanks for watching. I hope you had fun. Please like and subscribe if you want to follow along on the adventure, and I hope to see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.